Hey, Steve here. So, we're going to talk today about thumbnail sketches, what they're for, why they exist in the first place, how artists use them. So, a thumbnail sketch is not a sketch of a thumbnail. Now, I have sketched plenty of thumbnails in my time. Um, this is an example of a sketch that I did, but this is not a thumbnail sketch. This has a thumbnail in the sketch, but thumbnail sketches, let's see, I put a bookmark here, are small compositional sketches that allow you to kind of get a sense of what you might include in a piece without having to take the time and energy to sketch it all using thumbnail sketches. Here we go. Let's sketch some thumbnails. Okay, so for our first lesson here, we're going to talk about thumbnail sketches. They're a tool for creating images in the miniature. In other words, you can figure out what elements are going to be in your sketches, in your finished paintings, really quickly by creating different varieties, perhaps, of sizes, of rectangles or whatever shape thing you're going to work in, to give you an idea. So, for example, if you were going to do something with a bowl of fruit, maybe with this one, we'll just draw a little bowl of fruit here, and say, well, okay, that could be interesting. Put some scissors in there or something. Okay, well, that could be good. Well, what if we did it? What if we did it with this really wide one? Would that be more interesting if I put the bowl in there and the scissors in there? Does wide make it more interesting than square? Maybe not. What if I did it tall? What if I put my bowl of fruit at the top, and maybe if I put my scissors down here, would that actually, there's my table edge there, does that compositionally help anymore? Well, maybe I'll shorten that because it's just too much space. So now my aspect ratio has narrowed on this one because it's come smaller because it's a better composition that way. So that's what's going on. Thumbnail sketches are a way to get into drawing the piece, figuring out the elements and where they belong and what elements should and should not be in there without getting into the nitty-gritty of details. So if, as an illustrator, I have been given an assignment, I often have, like, for example, a magazine, and they'll say, okay, you know what, it's going to be the bottom right third of the page that you're going to work in. All right, well, now I know how much space I have to work in and what size. So if I know I've got a rectangle, say this size, I know I've got to do that. Now let's say that in this particular piece I'm supposed to do, I don't know, let's stick with the bowl of fruit just for a minute here. Okay, things that I need to think about in this composition include my point of view. I'll just jot a few things. POV, point of view. Yeah, where I'm looking, essentially. Am I looking down at the image, or am I looking up at the image, or am I looking just straight on at the image? Don't. I like making 3D. Okay, so I have to think about the point of view. Now, your point of view, you'd have to look at it and say, well, if I've got a bowl and I'm looking down at it, it's going to be rounder, and maybe the table edge is going to be high up like that, and I'm looking down into the bowl where the fruit is sitting on it. Okay, well, what if I don't want that one? Oh, well, maybe I'll sketch again. I've got another little sketch over here. See, that's the point. Here my table edge again, and now I'm looking at the side of the bowl of fruit. Would that be more interesting if I did it like that? And I know that he wants some scissors in the thing, so am I going to put them off to the side like that? Am I going to do them sideways over here like this? What are the elements that are going to work, and what kind of point of view works the best for it? Well, maybe we'll split the difference. Maybe instead of sideways or straight down on it, maybe we'll go at an angle. So I see some of the side of the bowl of fruit, and the scissors aren't quite so steep. All right, so what am I doing here? I've got, in 1 minute's time, I've sketched out several different options without worrying about detail. I'm just throwing in elements. I'm also thinking about general things of the composition, like where would I place this? In this case, in each case here, I'm placing this bowl about a third of the way over. All right, and I'm also putting my tabletop about a third of the way down or a quarter of the way down. This is something called the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds basically states that an item that is placed dead center in an image is typically considered static and boring. Okay, it's just there. It's not. All right, now we'll put the horizon or the table on the edge there too, just right smack in the middle. Okay, this is considered a boring composition. I think you can see that's true. Down here, if I have it over at a third of the way across, it's a far more compositionally interesting piece if it's set over just a little bit from center. Same with the scissors. They're about a third of the way down and a third of the way over. And if I have them pointing kind of in this direction or this direction, then I kind of catch the bowl edge and it throws my eye back around this way. Maybe I put a cup or something in here, and that brings my eye around and around and around in this image, which is a compositionally excellent thing to do. You want people who are viewing your images to keep themselves occupied in the image. You want the viewer to go around in the image. It doesn't have to be clockwise or counterclockwise, but you want your elements inside to keep your eye moving around and around the image rather than flying off the edge. So for example, if you had somebody who was standing there looking off to the side here, there's a nose, we'll give him a jutting out beard and an ear. Okay, if this guy's standing here, maybe he's holding the spear or something. All right, this guy's got some armor or whatever. Okay, here he stands, but he happens to be looking off the picture this way, right? So what happens with this particular composition, let's get to crop it in there a little bit more, is, yeah, he may be a little bit over 1/3 of the way across, but he's looking off. He's looking out the picture. So if there's another picture hanging over here in the gallery, essentially what you've done is you've got a guy who's coming and he's looking at your picture, but then since he's looking off that way, your eye is going to go over here and you're going to check out this composition over here. Now this image doesn't exist anymore. So you want to keep things flowing inside of an image. So that is the point of thumbnail sketches. Little sketches that help you figure out where things will go, let you think through good compositional design. Now we need to talk about compositional design more. So in the upcoming sessions, we're going to talk about all of the elements of art. Elements of art. And those include the following. We're going to talk about good understanding of line, of shape, of value, line, shape, value, texture. Oh, I've switched to lowercase. Color, composition, we've started talking about. Line, shape, value, texture, color, composition, and meaning. Gotta have that in art. We'll also talk about unity, harmony, and focus. Unity, harmony, and focus. So that's it for today. Remember, when you're sketching, do up little thumbnail sketches, think of different aspect ratios, wide, very, very tall, square, play with your elements in each one, think about how they flow around in the image, and we will see you next time. This is Steve Creitz signing out. Okay, that's it for this time. Please remember to like and subscribe, or I don't know, I'm new at this. Somewhere up here, over there, subscribe, down there, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Family just showed up, so I gotta do family things now. Bye.